Joining us is Washington State Representative Adam Smith, ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee, to basically explain to us what this actually means. Thanks for joining us, Congressman.
Thanks. Appreciate the chance.
So I know you're well aware of this order. It means that U.S. soldiers could detain trespassers, conduct searches, conduct crowd control. Will you explain to us why this is a change of what we know as normal protocol?
Certainly. There's a thing called the Posse Comitatus law, which basically says that the military cannot do domestic law enforcement. And it says that for very good reason. You know, as our country was being formed, we're aware of the countries all over the world where the military basically takes over the government and also violates the rights of citizens in many places. And we wanted to draw a clear separation between the job of the military to defend the country and the job of local law enforcement to enforce the law. And Trump just basically obliterated that and has empowered the military to arrest people in what is, I think, clear violation of the Posse Comitatus law. Now, you described it very well, how he's sort of creating a loophole to say this is a military base, so theoretically they're defending the military base. But at the end of the day, it is the U.S. military being used as domestic law enforcement, and we should all be deeply alarmed about that. And one final point, you mentioned how, you know, the border security is a big issue for President Trump. I get that, and I fully agree that, you know, we did not do enough to secure the border under the previous administration. But the border has been secure for quite a while now. This isn't even necessary to deputize the military to secure the border. The numbers are down to historic lows. So this is about more than securing the border. It is the militarization of law enforcement in the U.S., and it is of deep concern.
And just to really explain it to us, it would mean that American troops could basically search Americans, could arrest Americans, could use force, could do crowd control. And I guess the question is, if they allow it at the border, even with a loophole, what would prevent it from happening here in Washington or the heartland of America? Would it be the beginning of a really dangerous precedent?
Well, I mean, the president does have the power to use the Insurrection Act, to use the military to restore order in certain circumstances, and it has been used rarely throughout the history of our country. Most famously, it was used to enforce desegregation in the South back in the 50s, but it just opens the door more broadly for President Trump to abuse that, to make it clear that he wants to use the military for his own purposes and to take away people's rights. And let's remember on immigration as well, we've had a large number of people in this country picked up and deported without due process, including some citizens, children who were citizens, others who no evidence was presented, and it was later determined that they'd made a mistake, but the Trump administration has done nothing to bring them back. This is like a third world dictatorship that we used to read about in some faraway land, where basically they disappear people off the streets. And in several instances, President Trump has said that they're doing this because of the political views and the speech of some of these people, people who are visa holders, who have green card status, regular, they have legitimate status. They're having that revoked because of their exercise of free speech. This is a direct attack on the Bill of Rights and the United States Constitution.
Is it legal? Is it an attempt to evade the law? Is there anything Congress can do, or is this loophole legit?
Yeah, well, I mean, the loop, we can certainly, you know, sue as we have. And on that one instance where I talked about the deportations, as we all know, the Supreme Court has ordered the president to stop using the Alien Enemies Act to deport people. He's ordered the president to bring back specifically one person that he did deport, and the president has ignored that. He's in violation clearly of a court order. As far as the border is concerned, lawsuits will be brought to say that this is a violation and it is a loophole, that you are in fact violating the Posse Comitatus Act. You can't artificially say that this is a military base well over 100 miles when it really isn't. So yeah, lawsuits will be brought. And then the important part is when the president has a lawsuit against him and he violates it, the courts need to sanction him. That is the next big step. When you defy a court order, I know, I was a former prosecutor, I never defied a court order, I never got held in contempt in court, but if you do, they fine you or they put you in jail. That's the way they enforce their orders. And I think it's time that the courts start doing that to the Trump administration.
Well, I think there are many who would say, we'll see. So far, it has not happened. Congressman,
I know, but we got to push it. Look, we got to talk about it. We got to drive this home. We cannot simply submit to this type of tyranny. You have to stand up and speak out against it. This is a clear violation of the First Amendment, and I do not, even people who voted for Trump, I don't think they voted for this. They didn't vote for people to be picked up off the streets and deported without due process, even if they have legal status in this country. So we need to speak out, push back, and build up public opinion. And we've seen, I've been seeing some of your previews on 100 Days of Trump. His poll numbers have dropped by more than any president in history. That begins to apply pressure not just to Trump, but to Republican lawmakers who are enabling Trump. They need to feel that pressure.
Congressman Adam Smith, we are out of time. We would love to have you back to continue the conversation because it's just been the first 100 days. We have many more to go. Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you very much.